Synopsis. Starting off, the guys are reminiscing over the last 3 months they've spent in Hollywood. Wait, 3 months, doesn't that mean...
You guys do know that if your demos don't get picked by the record company tomorrow, you're going back to Minnesota.
What? They rush to Gustavo as if he can change the outcome in any way, and he explains that it's up to the companies to pick their demos. They give a quick explanation of what a demo is for anyone who doesn't know, and Gustavo says if he could change anything, he would, because if it doesn't work out, they're all going to fade into obscurity, even him. The guys try to play with Gustavo, even though he just told him his hands are tied, but he brings them back to reality, telling them that they're not even halfway there yet. The boys follow Gustavo back to his office against his wishes, and Gustavo has to explain even further that Griffin has 6 bands recording demos. And right now, the most popular one is a band called Vampira, a band of vampires. Well, Twilight was pretty big at the time. The boys ask Gustavo if there's anything they can do to make sure that they get picked, and Gustavo gives us a pretty funny line.
That is a highly classified corporate secret that no one will tell me, and that's killing me!
Guys!
Kelly reiterates for the 5th time that they all want this to work out, but all they know is that the secret advisor that picks the demos is very close to Griffin, and it's his daughter, isn't it? Yes, like a true Scott Fellows episode, he includes one hell of a callback, introducing Griffin's daughter. She gets the CD and is about to leave, but before that, she lets them know they're attractive, and since she's the one that picks the demos, she chooses Kendall to be her boyfriend. Well, at least he already has her father's approval. Katie is sad that they have to move out, but it looks like Mr. Bitters is quite happy, since it means he gets the apartment now that it's opened up. Mr. Bitters says the only way that they get to keep the apartment is if they get a job there. And wouldn't you know it, a job just opened up. But since she doesn't have the experience in the field, she's, oh, who am I kidding, you know this family. Kendall and Mercedes go out to the pool, but it's too much for Kendall. The other guys try to give him a pep talk, and when it seems like Gustavo and Kelly are going to be the voice of reason, oh no, they're all bad people. Mercedes tries to get Kendall to say he loves her, but since he hesitates, she dumps him and picks Carlos to be her new boyfriend. Mrs. Knight applies for the assistant manager position, and while Mr. Bitters doesn't want to accept, the regional manager shows up and... that's an awesome cameo! One that no one will understand but me. She gets the job, but as someone who has worked in the hotel industry before, it's not worth it. Carlos makes Mercedes cookies, but she's ungrateful. And since he lies about talking to other people in the bathroom, she dumps him and starts dating Logan. But before she tortures Logan, Kendall acts as the only decent person and straight up rejects her, leading to her destroying the CD. They all pack their bags, and we get a touching moment from Gustavo. Yes, I'm still mad at Big Time Mansion, why do you ask? She comes back into the apartment, but before she can explain herself, James has to stop her and ask why she didn't pick him.
Because I never date anyone prettier than me. I'm better now.
That made me laugh pretty hard, I'm not gonna lie. She admits she likes their songs, and the boys start to celebrate, but Mercedes lets them know that she doesn't actually pick the demos. No, the demos are actually picked by a hit-predicting super chimp. A monkey picks the demos?
No, a chimp.
Kendall asks for a keycard to her dad's office, and oh my god, they stole a monkey. I really wish we could have seen this plan, but it's almost funnier that we didn't. Mrs. Knight is even more tasks to do by Mr. Bitters. He explains to her his evil plan, and Mrs. Knight puts Katie to work too since this was all her idea. They try to train the chimp to like Big Time Rush through positive reinforcement, but it doesn't go well. Mrs. Knight tries to evict a giant, but he won't listen, leading to a pretty nice callback to Big Time Bad Boy. A lot of references to Big Time Bad Boy in this episode. Back at the studio, Kendall tries to give everyone a pep talk like he usually does, but Griffin walks in with the chimp and...
yeah, we're done.
A lot of good jokes like that in this episode. Everyone owns up to their mistakes, but Griffin still leaves it up to Lolo, who picks Vampira. Mercedes decides to argue with Lolo, and gives good reasons why Big Time Rush should stay. Griffin sees Mercedes knows what she's talking about, and gets Lolo's old job, while Lolo gets transferred to the missile division. They record a new song, and Mrs. Knight quits since she doesn't have to work there anymore. Thoughts? Okay, this episode was kind of a weird one. For the first half, I was wondering if maybe this was the first bad Scott Fellows episode, but he was somehow able to save it by the end. It also felt like a full 40-minute special rather than just a 20-minute episode. Maybe that's good, maybe that's bad, I don't know yet. It felt like they were going down a path of cheating to get their demo picked, but they shifted to cheating is wrong about halfway through the episode, but then they still kidnapped a monkey to cheat. But in the end, they all own up to their mistakes, and I think that's really what saved it. It was still a funny episode, though, and includes some interesting callbacks. Even episodes Scott didn't write. I think I was leaning heavily towards Gold Record for the most part, but I think that final scene really kicked it up one notch. Platinum Record. Trivia. I mentioned this in the synopsis, but the regional manager is actually played by famous voice actor James Arnold Taylor. People know him best as playing Obi-Wan Kenobi in anything Star Wars that's animated, but he also played Johnny in the Cartoon Network show Johnny Test, another show created by Scott Fellows. Also in that same show, there's a chimp owned by Johnny's twin sisters named Lolo. Although it's unclear if this is a reference or just him repeating ideas. Well, I did have to do some digging to find this trivia myself. I should credit my sources. I got most of this information from the Big Time Rush fan wiki, specifically the blog Big Time Demos. If you want to fact check me, feel free to do so in the comments below, and if it's a big enough slip up on my part, I'll try and have your comment penned, assuming I haven't already done that to someone else. Alright, that's exactly what I asked for, and like the song said, We're halfway there, so I think it's about time we celebrate.
When the window blew out, I fell, cut myself. As the blood spilled, I was helpless, nearly killed. Your actions, they did curse me, and yet your lies still hurt me. One heart for all beings.